think it was in 2009 that I decided to quit my job and really slow down and get out of advertising. And I went to nutrition school, and then soon after that, I ended up setting up my own business. That's a short version of it. It's it's interesting because back then, if you looked up Hashimoto's or low thyroid function, there was only one book available. And when I lived in Shanghai back then in China, I had it express ship. I paid probably 10 times more for the shipping than the book itself. And all the book said was stop eating bok choy, kale, and soy. That's all it had, a solution for Hashimoto's disease, right? So when people tell me today that, that they're so, that just they're so frustrated with their disease, I say, you know what? It's so much easier to be sick now than it was 12, 15 years ago, because there were no resources. There was no people like you and I. There were no books on very specific conditions that we might be experiencing, whether it's cancer, whether it's hormonal imbalances, and there's so many different types that really can hone in to helping a person. And most of the time, the author is a person who suffered through that condition herself or himself, right? And so, in some ways, I'm grateful that it is existing now, but I also remember my stress levels of not being so stuck, of not knowing what to do. My intuition was telling me that I really need to detox. So I got the heck out of China, moved to the United States. And, it was just like a slow process of really starting the elimination diet, getting off gluten, dairy, soy, corn, eggs. Was like a first big starting point. You have to remember my clients were like Neutrogena and L'Oreal, products that I will never touch with a stick very long today. But that's what I used to use. I'm just understanding like all these chemicals and what they do to the endocrine system, especially for women. So just slowly starting detox my skincare line, my skincare products, the things that I was using at home for cleaning the house. It was a process. It was a step-by-step process, rebuilding my digestive health, understanding the role of the microbiome, the importance of sleep. There wasn't, I wish, Nathan, that I could just, say one thing, but with, how it is, and I'm sure everybody here appreciates it too. For most of us, it's not one thing. Hormones don't get triggered. Autoimmunity doesn't get triggered and go out of control with just one thing. It's most of the time is this perfect storm, a lot of different factors that we just need to uncover what their biggest ones are and doing that. So, for me, it was probably like a 4 or 5 year journey. First dealing with Hashimoto's and autoimmunity, changing my diet, really rebuilding my digestive health. That was like the biggest first thing. Like I always thought that constipation was a normal thing. I'll go to the bathroom once every 2-3 days, and I thought that was normal and having a real problem eliminating. And now when I think about it, it's like, wow, that's one of the big things that I advocate, is having a really healthy bowel movement, because especially as women, when you don't have a regular bowel movement, all your hormones get recycled back into the system, and those are not good hormones. Those are hormones that the body had a reason to evacuate them, and you should be evacuating them. So anyway, so that's the, and for the longest time, I was a staunch believer that food can fix everything. And so, and I think part of it was because when I was in private practice, I'm not anymore, but when I would have clients with bags of supplements walking in. And I thought, well, you're taking all of these things and you're spending close to $800 every month, and it's not helping you. And yet your practitioner never talked to you about your diet. So I was like very, very, very diet only kind of a practitioner. And then I realized soon, probably within 3-4 years of doing it, is that unfortunately, food is not enough a lot of the time. And, and then when I went to herbal school, there is this incredible lecture that we had that shows the nutritional value loss of food since 1940, so since the war, before the war, right. Till now, right? And it's like everything from potatoes to cabbages to apples, etc. Just the loss of all the nutrients is so tremendous. And so, I think adding supplementation to my own lifestyle, and then being now an advocate of targeted, I want to, really emphasize the word targeted supplementation to really supplement what you're doing is just so key. So that's really got me back on my feet. So I'm turning 50 in a couple of months. And, and I
You
feel.
look amazing for turning 50. I got to tell you. I mean,
Thank you. Thank you. I do feel like I feel better when I'm now 50 than when I was in my probably 30s. So, so something is working, I think.
Want to learn what the leading edge science says about the most proven anti-cancer diet? What about experiencing the joy and power of meditation, emotional freedom, energy medicine yoga, and ancient healing methods? Or how about learning from world-leading doctors and health experts what you can do to protect yourself and your family from chronic disease and live a long and healthy life? Imagine if you could learn directly from cancer conquerors how they beat cancer using holistic diet and lifestyle approaches. And imagine understanding why certain supplements work, others don't, and what to look for when choosing effective supplements for health and vitality. And what if every month you could get your most important health questions answered by world-leading integrative and holistic physicians and health experts? Now, it's all possible inside Healing Life. Join the health revolution today at healinglife.net.